Hri Om. As we take up the concluding verses of Jivayatra, we shall just do a recap where we started. What about this Jivayatra, this Yatra journey of this Jiva? Now, right in the beginning, we were told that there is this Jiva, every human being, who is on a yatra. We do not know that we are on a yatra. Some of us seek moksha. Moksha is one of the 4 purusharthas, pursuits, human endeavor. And though moksha is the only purushartha, we don't even recognize that. We say, no, I am not after moksha. I am seeking dharma, artha, kama, all these pursuits. This has nothing to do with moksha. So, Acharya makes us aware of this fact. As Bhagavan Krishna also says in the Gita, the one who propitiate, worship other gods are also finally worshipping me only. We are not aware. What is this moksha sthiti? We do not know. So we keep pursuing. We keep pursuing knowledge, we pursue success, we pursue wealth. We seek to have power. We seek to have security. Why do we seek all this? Because basically there is this lack felt. And what kind of lack? This sense of unfulfillment, dissatisfaction with what we have, this dissatisfaction with who we are. This is what creates this feeling of lack that we all have. And in order to, supplicate, in order to, somehow fill in some amount of happiness in our lives, we keep pursuing things. But the rishis recognize that in spite of all these pursuits, whatever we do, man is again basically feeling that sense of lack. That sense of completeness. He says, I am not complete until I have not performed this, until I have not married, until I have not become a parent, until I have not achieved my goal, whatever that goal be. And then once he does that, he does achieve and attain dharma, artha, kama, he is still left with this sense of lack. So even the richest person who has everything in has this sense of lack. So where is the sense of lack coming? So we are all seeking that fullness, completeness, happiness that is constantly there with us, which is independent, which should not be dependent on anything, because anything dependent on something we know is impermanent, may not last, creates insecurity. Therefore, each one of us is actually seeking moksha only. Moksha from what? From the sense of lack, insecurity, impermanency. And if we were to discover that all of this is basically coming from my ignorance of who I am, then automatically I seek that. Who am I? I should just get that Gnana, that knowledge. This Gnana is given in the Shastras, it is given by the Gurus. They say all you need is this knowledge. With this knowledge, you will overcome all the sense of lack. Because the sense of lack itself, it originates from ignorance, ajnanata, ignorance of the self. Therefore, one must, taking the Shastras as Praman, following the footsteps of the one who has seen this truth. Now, the Guru doesn't recognize any incompleteness in himself. He is not dependent on any job external to give him any satisfaction. He has attained to that knowledge and he is free from all these limitations, restrictions that arise due to misunderstanding of the self. So when one approaches such a Guru, this Guru and the Shastras speak of the body. We also went through the example in the Kathopanishad about this body being a chariot, the horses being the senses, which need to be reined and given a direction, guided by the Lord, the Swami, who is the charioteer. The intellect has to hold the mind. The mind is the rein through which the senses are controlled. And anchored in the Guru's words, anchored in the words of the scriptures, the entire body, its actions must be led towards this goal. And then one realizes this Swami is sitting within. So where is truly the journey? It is an internal journey. It is not an external journey that you need to take in the world. So you need to transcend this idea that we carry in our minds of the ahankara, the I thought, recognizing that this I thought that arises in the intellect all the time, referring to the body, referring to the mind, referring to the intellect, is not the body, the mind, and the intellect, but is consciousness itself, which is expressing through this equipment. So now, what I assumed the I to be, because I thought I was born and then I was told you are a girl, you are a boy, you belong to this. So the religion was given to me, my belief set of beliefs was given to me, my education was given to me, my social environment was given to me. And then I began to think that way and began to think that that is who I am. But now upon inquiry, I realize each one of us who says I in this body is referring to that one I only. And that is the self of all. That the Swarupa we studied later in the verses. Ananda Swarupa, Chit Swarupa, Nirguna Swarupa, without any gunas. It is consciousness, it is awareness, it is eternal. Nitya Swarupa. That light is who I am. That light is expressing through this equipment. So this understanding has to be complete. This is the yatra. And when it is complete, then what does one experience? Oh, whatever you were seeking, that fulfillment, that contentment, that satisfaction that bliss, Vishnu Padam, that Nityananda, which is whole, it is, you cannot break it into divisions. And that bliss is simply there. It is not dependent on anything. You recognize that, and that stillness is there. That stillness, that contentment, that bliss is the background now from which the equipment operates. So now there is a great difference in the actions and the expressions of such an equipment. This state is what we call Jivan Mukta. And this state, only Advaita Vedanta talks of it. If you see, Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, they do not speak of that. They speak of Videha Mukti, which means they say you have to leave this body, then you go, there is this Loka experiences there, Swarga Loka. That is where you will find that peace. Whereas Advaitic thought is here and now, it is already your nature. Jivan Mukti is the state, is actually your state already. Since we do not recognize it, we go to the Guru, we say, that is not my experience. So he also goes along with us, though he knows the truth. Because he has to correct our thinking. So this inner thinking, this perspective needs to change. And once you have known it, then you are, what have you discovered? You have just discovered yourself, which is very, very natural, spontaneous. Now you will act from that state of consciousness and not from the mental realm. This is the state we need to get at, and it is an internal journey. It is not an external journey.